Welcome in, chat. We're going to start night now. Let's get going. So we're doing some more Ace Attorney today. Should be a good time. Yeah, it's always a fun time. This game makes me think, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest. But let's keep going. You guys will get even more terrible fucking voice acting because I'm not good at it. All right, I think we were just leaving. I think. So what John asked me about? Current case murdered a Cadopian embassy staff member. I've heard of people have begun calling it the second KG8 incident. Only among law enforcement types. And what about it? I'd like you to tell me everything you know about the original KG8 incident. I'm afraid I can't help you. I don't know anything beyond what was reported in the papers. No, I believe you know much more, since you are directly tied to the KG8 incident. I'd appreciate if you stop with the false accusations. Place's helpers are useless both inside and outside the courtroom, you know. I do, but I also know you do have a leg to stand on here. You can stop making the ultra-serious face in front of me? Please stop laughing for just a second. I'm not going to make any headway like this. I'm just going to show her exactly how related to the KG8 incident she is. So I need to present KG8 reference material, yeah. Who's you? I believe I have proof of your connection to the KG8 incident. If violent is your proof, very well then. Why don't you tell me exactly how I'm related to the KG8 incident? Through the victim. Connection to the KG8 incident is through the victim. The victim's name is CCU. You will note that she has the same last name as you. Can you really still tell me that with a straight face you are not related to the case? Sorry, we're not related. Just kidding. The question was such a serious look on your face. I couldn't help but... Miss Yu, I ask that you please tell me the truth. Ahem. Alright, I'll tell you everything I know. As you guessed, I'm the one who reported the smuggling activities to the Yamato group. It was my sister CCU, as I thought. And she was killed right before she was to testify at the impending trial. By Manny Kochin. But because he was tried once and was acquitted, he gets to live out the rest of his cushy life completely carefree. All because of a lack of evidence. No, I heard the evidence to convict him did exist. What? I heard it from Mr. Faraday himself after Mr. Kochin's trial was over. Apparently, a man in black made off with most of the important pieces of evidence. Then the evidence has been tampered with? Oh, are we getting the ad break? There it is. Okay. Let's give it a second. What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? What's going on, subs? You guys having a good night so far? Hope everyone's having a good night. I am out here having some fun tonight. You know? All my friends are raiding tonight, and I'm just here. So here we are. Normally it'd be Fruit Night, but with some group issues, I guess we're not doing that for right now. I'll probably have to repost my recruitment posts tomorrow morning. I'm not out of the group, but our group did lose half of our members, so once we fill, we'll be back in Fruit, but for now I'm just like in that disappointed area where I don't really know what to do anymore. So we'll see. Yeah, I hope everybody's having a good night so far tonight. We go in for a couple hours today. Tomorrow I'm off. Saturday I'm going to be off, unfortunately, due to some other issues. But I'm looking forward to being around for Monday. It's going to be a long stream day. Should be a good time. I'm really excited to get to play it. just about done with the ad break here. The early ad break, I don't really do much in the middle of, like, I don't go to the bathroom or anything, because I usually do that before I start stream, so. Alright, ad break is finishing up. Welcome back, everybody. Just give some updates on how things are going, so hopefully the group fills and I'll be back in for soon. But for now, we're doing some more Ace Attorney. Let's go. Isn't it just like a criminal to do something like that? The smuggling ring being run out of the Amano group by one of its secretaries. They bailed Mr. Cochin out. Turns out they were in league with each other all along. How big was that smuggling ring? Was it a large operation? I don't really know. Which is why I wanted to become the lead defense. On this case, what people are calling the second KG8 incident. But I haven't learned anything new at all. I was probably expecting too much, I know. I mean, you think this case has nothing to do with the smuggling ring? I don't know what to think. Why did Mr. Cochin want to meet with you earlier? Actually, he came to watch the trial. Apparently, he only found out that I was the defense lawyer on this case after he'd arrived. He figured he should say hi and one other thing. Looks like you couldn't resolve anything this time either. Too bad. What's that supposed to mean? Oh boy, stop it with the scary face already. I'm fine. Really, I gave him a good slap across the face. She talks about slapping him and she laughs. Always just kind of, it's kind of creepy. But it's just as Mr. Bad said. He's not related to the double murder. I asked around and people in the gallery think he was in the seat the entire time. Talk about cruel fate. This is about all I know. Sorry. Guess I wasn't much help, huh? That's not true. I'm sorry I made you recall such a painful time in your life. Edgeworth, you really are too serious for your own good. We need to learn how to relax. We wouldn't want you to die of stress, would we? Thank you for the advice, but there's no need to worry. I work in my own way, and I will catch this criminal in my own way as well, you see. You with a game face on, ready to go. I'm making no such face. Did you know, laughter is the best medicine, Edgeworth? Don't you get tired of making such a serious face all the time? I'm charged with making sure that all the criminals of this world are found guilty. I have no need for laughter. There you go, making that face again. Oh well. I've got to get going. I still have a few loose ends I need to tie up. The KG8 incident and this murder investigation. It is my belief that these two cases are related to each other somehow. Plus that Detective Gumshoe. It's obvious he's lying, even though the lie is hurting his chances. Clearly this case is far from over. Whether or not the detective is the murderer can only be determined once I've completed my perfect investigation. Mr. Von Karma, I swear I'll uphold your honorable name, or my name is Miles Edgeworth. Alright. Sir, what is to become of the trial into the Codopian Embassy staff member's murder? Indeed, since both the suspect and the prosecutor are now dead. The case will be dismissed. In other words, the trial ends here prematurely. Huh. Looks like you'll have to wait a bit longer for your big debut. I suppose it can't be helped. The evidence in this trial will be transferred to you in a little while. Sir, what do you think about the murder of the Codopian Embassy staff member? And the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rowe? What an outrageous circus it has all become. That Faraday brought it all upon himself with his naivete. An outrageous circus, right, sir? I grow weary of this topic, Edgeworth. I will have you assigned to a different case. Papa, you'll come and watch my courtroom debut next, won't you? I'll consider it. Sir, if I may, please allow me to continue with my investigation. Whatever for? I know that there is already a suspect in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rowe. However, there is not enough evidence to prove that he was who committed the crime. I'd like to continue investigating in order to find the perfect proof of his guilt. Is it perfect proof? Don't make me laugh! A worthless person like you has no right to claim such a thing as perfection. Papa? Who do you think is the real culprit behind these murders? Miles and I, we're competing to see who can find the real killer first. Plus, being able to investigate a real crime scene is a really rare opportunity. It would give us some real-life experience. Would you agree? If you want to investigate this case that much, then do as you wish. Then you're allowing us to continue? In court, your top priority is to win, and a solid investigation is one of the keys to winning. We're to make sure you become recognized as a first-rate prosecutor, don't we? It would be very interesting otherwise. I'm returning home now. Edgeworth, Franziska, see to it I am not disturbed, save for the results of your competition. Yes, sir. Of course, Papa. Franziska, thank you. What are you thanking me for? Logically, I was built on that scruffy detective's lie. That means that competition is still on. Yes, just as you wished. I couldn't let you get off so easily. Now then, let us see how you fare on the investigation from here, Miles Edgeworth. I know I don't have enough information yet, so my first order of business would be to question anyone involved with the case. Gumshoe. It wasn't me, I tell you. I didn't do anything wrong. Yes, I understand. So just calm down, okay, buddy? I doubt I'll get anything useful from a detective while he's this agitated. It's you. Oh, it's you, Edgeworth. And who are you? Wait, you were at the crime scene just now, weren't you? You should be disbarred for not knowing who I am. I am Franziska von Karma, and I am about to become the successor to my family name. About to? I guess that means for now you're still just another kid. In which case it's only natural that I didn't know who you are. Why are you whipping me? Anyway, it looks like they're planning to hold the evidence a bit longer. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's waiting. I'm terribly sorry, but I have a few more questions to ask of you. Look at you, eyebrows scratched with the lines on your forehead. And that, to ask of you. What exactly is so funny? Sorry, I'm just bad at dealing with a super serious atmosphere. Maybe they'll teach you proper behavior at a crime scene in law school. Oh, I feel much better now. So what is it you want to talk about? I'd like to inquire as to where you were at the time of the murder. We were in defendant lobby 1 the whole time up until we heard the gunshot. By we, I mean Mr. Bad. If you don't believe me, feel free to ask him yourself. We were Detective Bad? Why? We had a little something to discuss, that's all. So I take it that you are acquaintances with Detective Bad? Yeah, he was the detective in charge of the KG8 incident. Detective Bad is also related to that incident? That's right. He was the one who was supposed to protect my sister Cece. But you know how that turned out, don't you, Edgeworth? Miles Edgeworth, I have no idea what you are talking about. I've heard of the KG8 incident from my papa. But how does he know that case is related to you, monsieur? The victim of that case, CCU, was my younger sister. You're making that super serious face again. Fine, really. I just make it a point to rub some salt in his wounded pride before every time I see him. When she talks about doing that, she laughs. It's always kind of creepy. Oh, speaking of Mr. Bad, he and Mr. Faraday, I'd say they met up just about every single time the Atagarasu made a move. It's practically a given that the two would meet up at every one of those crime scenes. I say, you didn't mention that he's in charge of the Atagarasu investigation earlier. We should ask what she knows about the Atagarasu in more detail. Okay, at the time of the murder, you were at Detective Bad. But you lawyers usually discuss the trial with your clients during recess? We do, and that's what I was planning to do. Mr. Faraday was being rather threatening, and he dragged Mr. L away. After that, Mr. Bad came into the lobby number 1, so we just stayed there and talked. Talked with Detective Bad about. Nothing interesting. I just insulted him some. Talked about how the trial was going, and then I insulted him some more. Bloody. When she's not laughing, her mouth seemingly spews nothing but insults. Anyway, Mr. Bad and I were defendant lobby number 1 when the murders occurred. So I really can't tell you anything about the hallway or lobby number 2. I see. I'd like to ask you a few questions about your client, Mr. Macro. Now, your client's first claimed to be the Atagarasu, is that correct? Yeah. Once I heard that was the Yatagarasu that made off with the evidence from KG8, I began to ask Mr. Rel all sorts of questions, but to no avail. Turns out, Mr. Rel was not the Yatagarasu. He had just made that up. He made it up? Mr. Rel's crime was caught on tape by the security cameras. But there is no footage of him sneaking into the Cadopian embassy itself. Hold on for just 1 second. Did you mean to say that you know that he was not the real Yatagarasu? He was just another cold-blooded killer? And you were ready to defend him? Yes, that's right. I see. So the defense lawyer is actually just someone whose job it is to cover for criminals. Said this way, defense lawyers are so detestable, but they are no match for us von Karmas. I don't believe it. You're serious. Why don't you save the face for something really worth being serious about? Ed Edgeworth, do you remember what I said earlier? I have my own agenda. I'm still a non for leads regarding the KG8 incident, alright? And for that, you've not a single qualm about defending a known killer. Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rowe was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. I'm sorry. Forgive my rashness. Miss you. I was wondering if you could tell me about the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu, huh? I don't really know much about that character myself, but I do get a lot of consultation requests from companies to defend them. Requests from companies? The Yatagarasu isn't some petty thief out for money, you know. Oof. Alright then, perhaps the Yatagarasu is in business of stealing people's lives? Not very funny or witty, are you, little Miss Von Karma? Francisca, be careful about who you whip. Choose careful, or maybe soup like So yeah, I chose carefully, just like you wanted. That just now was hilarious, little Missy. Of course it was. What's wrong with these two women? As my pain gives them delight. And so, in the end, what is the Yatagarasu? I have to say, I had never heard of this thief when I was in Germany. The Yatagarasu deals in information. Namely, in digging out dirt about backroom dealings and the like of companies. The Yatagarasu is a vigilante who steals such info and makes it public for all to see. Vigilante or not, this person sounds like just another criminal to me. I suppose you could put it that way too. But either way, I got a lot more clients now thanks to that thief. He was profiting nicely. I've forgotten all I can on MCU. I should move on and speak with Detective Gumshoe now. Detective Gumshoe. Hey, it's you, pal. You're here. Ouch! As am I. I think you need to whip him to let you know that. I didn't do it, pal! I swear on my honor as a detective. I really didn't. Your words are useless. I place my trust only in the evidence detective. Once the investigation is fully over and we should find out that you are the killer, there will be no mercy to be had for you. Have a heart, pal. You're not worried, alright? After all, you have nothing to worry about if you really are innocent, that is. That's right. Hey, pal, go and do your perfect investigation and get the real killer for me, will ya? I would have done so even if you had not requested me to, Detective. So you and Mr. Faraday had a small meeting last week, did you? And what exactly did you do to make him so angry? I just asked Detective Bad the same thing myself, pal. Turns out, he was mad at me because of my very first day as a detective. I reported in at my usual post instead of the Criminal Affairs Department. By the time I got down to Criminal Affairs, I was really, really late. And that's when he gave me that huge speech. I remember doing the exact same thing in elementary school. On the first day of school every year, I'd always wind up going to my old classroom. How pathetic for a detective to be comparable to a mere school child. You claim to be standing guard in front of the door to lobby number 2 during the recess. Or when did you receive the order to do so, and from whom? Earlier, around 3:20 from Detective Bad, pal. Today's trial took a really crazy turn, so I was told to make sure nothing happened to Mr. Faraday. And yet, something did happen to him, correct? It looks like there was a total waste of manpower to assign you to guard the team. Ow! Your words sting worse than your whip, pal. So Detective Bad ordered you to stand guard, huh? Now then, Detective Gumshoe. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me? Nope, not a thing, pal. In that case, it does allow us to take a look at what you are carrying on your personage. Ah! Wait, you can't do that! There's nothing of any particular value here. Well, my handcuffs and badge were confiscated by Detective Bad, so you know. What is that open envelope I see sticking out of your coat pocket? Ah, that's all, pal. Just show it to us, already. Ow! Annual bonus check within $5 total, except there's no check inside. You had your look. Now give it back, pal. It's my first bonus as a brand new detective. I just got it and cashed it today. I had literally no cash on me up until I did, you know. This envelope is really special to me. Now give it back. You don't need the rubbish like this. Don't worry, we'll throw it away for you later. How could you? I'm sorry, but I need to take him in for questioning. I need to take him in for questioning now. I've asked him just about everything I needed to. No, wait, since he became a suspect, there's one piece of evidence I should reconfirm. So Ashley, wait a second. I still have one thing I'd like to reconfirm with the Gumshoe. Understood, but please make it brief, sir. To hear it from the horse's mouth. I must confirm whether or not his testimony about the crime scene, when the crime occurred, is the truth. Hey, what's going on, Jay? Welcome in. I didn't say look at the bookshelf, idiot. Also, I like the thinker right here, by the way. That's a reference to one of the other Ace Attorney games. So, we have his testimony, so we need to go over it with him. You told me earlier that you had no sound other than the gunshot on the hallway. Is that correct? No mistake about it, pal. Then you were also claiming that no one passed through the hallway either. Is that also correct? Yep, not even a single lamp passed through that hall while I was on duty. You do realize the lie you're telling is only making your life more difficult for yourself, huh? Oh, but it's true. I didn't see anyone go through the hallway, and I didn't hear anything else, pal. But they could have run away to kill the two guys. That's beyond what I can even imagine. Tell you this ridiculous lie. Oh. So let's see. That's not what I need to look at. Approximately 4. Yeah, okay. Given the situation he's in, having a thorough investigation of the hallway in front of the defendant's lobby is in order. Ah, you! Ah! I bet you had not noticed that coming. That child I changed. Wasn't that the child I changed money for earlier? ASMR stream? Not really. Thanks. It's exactly what I needed. Kids can sometimes be so cruel. It looks like she dropped something. Maybe we should let Issa go. She might turn out to be a valuable lead. I believe you some sort of punishment may need to be dealt the next time we meet. That's all that I need to of this man. Now, for Detective Bad and the judge. We have to confirm who is correct, the judge or that scarf face, right? Who should inspect the hallway in front of lobby number 2 next then? I suppose so. Shall we head on over, Francisco? So, did you say anything else? Nope, I don't think so. I see. Well, thanks for your cooperation. Oh, it's nothing. Just doing my duty as a defender of the law. That'll be all for now. I'll ask again if you have any other questions. Anytime, Detective. Oh, if you'll excuse me, I have a few loose ends I have to tie up. Oh, you're that new prosecutor Mr. Von Karma recommended, right? My name is Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. And I am Manfred Von Karma's daughter, Franziska Von Karma. I'm set to become the successor to my genius father any day now, Your Honor. I see, Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Mr. Miles Edgeworth, and I bit my tongue. Are you all right, Your Honor? Please feel free to refer me as just Miss Von Karma, Your Honor. As for him, just Edgeworth is fine. Apparently somebody doesn't feel that I'm worthy of a proper title. Oh, very well then. I'll call you Miss Von Karma and Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth. Your Honor, Mr. Edgeworth is fine. Now about your earlier testimony. Yes, what about it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd like to ask you a few questions about exactly what you saw. Alright, after all, it's my duty to clarify my testimony as a defender of the law. I greatly appreciate your cooperation, Your Honor. Now, the first thing I will need to do is figure out that detective's exact movements. So first we'll start with him. Your Honor, I'd like to ask you a few questions if you don't mind. Where were you at the time of the murder? Do you suspect me of something? No, nothing of the sort, Your Honor. Well, very well. You may continue with your testimony. Your Honor, it's your testimony I'm after. Oh! I had no idea you were chasing after me or my testimony. I'm the innocence that I might want to avoid being in a trial run by this judge. Let's see here. Now then, how should I put this? When you get to be my age, you need to pay more frequent visits to the restroom. Here's the funny thing. We don't fucking know how old this guy is. It's question marks. We don't fucking know. He's just there. If you go take a look through the window at the end of this hall, you'll see a small window. There's the window to the men's restroom. In other words, you can see clearly into this hallway from the men's restroom. When I was going into the restroom, that detective, Gumshoe, is it? Well, he was standing in front of the vending machines buying something from it. However, as I couldn't believe, when I was about to exit the restroom, there was not a soul in the hallway anymore. Your Honor, if you could please calm down and explain it to me rationally. Oh, I'm really sorry. Please let me regain my posture. It was really suspicious. That's when I finally honed the judge's intuition said. Hello. Well, until the murders occurred, I just sort of brushed it off. I mean, the judge doesn't understand the concept of staying calm. Probably all I'm going to find out from His Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, may I return to my other duties now? Yes, I'm sorry to have held you up. Thank you for your cooperation, Your Honor. Anytime, Mr. Edgeworth. Anytime. See, judges in these countries seem rather friendly. Yes, if not a little wishy-washy. However, I hear that they are known to hand down very fair verdicts. Detective Bad, I have something I wish to inquire about. Hey, how about doing some actual work, you? Wish to inquire into Detective Gumshoe's movements during the recess. You're getting in the way of the investigation. I have an order from Mr. Von Karma himself. Plus, I still hold investigative authority. I hear you were the one who called for Detective Gumshoe to come down here. Fair day. That guy was just accused, you know. I just knew something was going to happen. My detective's instinct told me. Oh, that's a good attitude. You couldn't even protect one known prosecutor with you. Hold it! Franziska, I think you need to apologize. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry, Detective Bad. Please continue. I used the phone on the first floor and called the precinct. I told them to send somebody over, and that detective's the one that showed up. Only upon his arrival did you set Detective Gumshoe to stand guard, Detective Bad? Yeah, I waited for him on the first floor. After he got here, we came up to these defendants' lobbies together. As we entered this hallway, we ran into you. Zach's acting is uncanny. I know, right? She told us that Faraday was really mad. And that he dragged Rail off to lobby number 2 to have a word or something. And that Faraday had said to not let anyone interrupt them. So what choice did I have? All I could do was tell the big lug to stand out guard outside. Now if I could read, you know. And around what time did all that take place? Let's see. I think it was about 30 minutes before I heard the gunshot. After giving the big lug his assignment, he never left the hallway. Not once. Oh? And how can you make such a claim? One of the guards out in this floor's main lobby supported me he knew. The detective never left the hallway. Then where did he disappear off to? Phew. Is that simple? He must have gone into lobby number 2 just as I suspected. You and I, we were in lobby number 1 next door. The only one without an alibi is Gumshoe. Seeing that I'm still missing some pieces of information. Detective Bat, you also heard the gunshot, did you not? Yeah. I heard it when I was in defendant lobby 1. That's why I came running towards lobby number 2 together with you. How much time elapsed between you hearing the gunshot and your arrival on the scene? Less than a minute. What were your movements upon hearing the gunshot? I grabbed the big lug who was just walking around in the hallway and raced into lobby number 2. And that's when we discovered the bodies, in that order. So that makes you the discoverer of the crime scene, right? Yeah, I guess it does, little miss. I am about to become a prosecutor very soon. You will treat me with the dignity I deserve or else. You wave that thing around anymore, and I'll have you arrested for obstruction, little miss. You wouldn't dare. I'm just joking. Too bad it's really something if you can make Francisca behave. Are we about done? Anything else I should ask him about? Let's see. Time. I'd like you to tell me the exact time you heard the gunshot. It was around the end of the recess. The trial was about to start again, I think. He was supposed to make time for himself to transfer the evidence he was holding. But I got the sense he wasn't going to show for the handoff. So I figured I should go get him, or he'd be late. And just as I thought that, bang! The sound of a gunshot hit my eardrums. So we had the gunshot right before the trial was about to restart, huh? Are we done here? I don't have any time to waste. Oh, come on. All you're doing is standing in front of this door, doing nothing. Get the sense that he is somewhat investigating this crime scene. Or rather, that he is keeping us under surveillance. To what end? Detective Bat, may I ask you to cooperate with us for just a bit longer? I don't have anything else to say to the two of you. You guys were the ones who said you wanted to investigate in the first place. Fine then, be obstinate. We'll just do as we please. Come on, Miles. You may no longer be willing to help us, however. May I ask for the forensic scientist cooperation? Do as you like. Alright, time to drink a bit, because doing these voices, gotta make sure, you know. I'd like to have a voice for tomorrow, and to shit talk people on Marvel. Alright. What's that? What's this? It's a pink-colored piece of trash made of rubber. I feel like we've seen something like this before. Have we? Well, all I see is a piece of garbage. But you know, is the fact that there is a litter running around loose beside this courthouse. is simply unforgivable. It's not like it was I who littered. Rubbish belongs in the rubbish bin. Kids are hard at work carrying their food home. It's a marvel that they can pick up such comparatively large objects their size. If you want to carry the mighty Ron name and not be squished under it, you better work extra hard, just like these ants. Same goes for you, Francisca. What's these black speckles? I believe it's a pile of ants eating away. Ooh, that detective, he claims not a single ant slipped by him, and yet here is a whole hill of them. What are you hitting me for? It's not a replacement for that pathetic detective. Perhaps I should add this deduction to the detective's growing a tab of pay cuts. Anyway, I found out where the ants are eating. Instead of it in a sweet bowl of it, pieces of cake and chocolate from a Swiss roll. Mayor's age rough. The courthouse is to be kept pristine at all times. It wasn't me who dropped the food on the ground. The courthouse must be kept clean. Dirt on this bench. It smells like some sort of sweet substance. I can't believe there's someone going around dirtying the courthouse. For shame! Hold it! Calm down, Francisca. I take a good look. Doesn't this smudge look kind of like a handprint to you? I suppose it could be. Which means that perhaps we can let the prints off the person who sullied this bench. I see. And then we'll know the identity of our mystery slope. You there, the lab technician. Could you please find out who this handprint belongs to? Sir! Yes, sir! Got the results of the fingerprint analysis, sir. And do we know who they belong to? Sir, the fingerprints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Oh, interesting. Good work, officer. And so you have it. Yes, I suppose so. Now we know the identity of the person who dirtied the bench. Since that you and I will be using this information in very different ways. Pouring him out of the hole in this bench as well. If the inside of this bench consists of nothing but ants. Don't you dare continue with that close line of thought. I'm sorry. I think that's everything. A cactus. What's the matter? I pricked myself on one of this cactus needles. I didn't think the needles on this thing would be so sharp. Well, what did you expect? Can you imagine how bad it would be if you were to hit your head by one of these? Anyway, the cactus seems to be unrelated to a case. Do you really think so? I believe that this cactus sitting on this windowsill is completely related. Oh, listen, I look forward to your explanation how exactly it is related. So that window on the other side belongs to the men's restroom. I can't see it. At your height? No, I'm not surprised. I guess short people have feelings too. No, they don't, clearly. Alright, I think that's everything over here I can investigate. Yeah. It appears this vending machine sells snacks and various other foods. Just lovely. What will they think of next? Don't be a jerk. In court, like these beef jerks. One packet for $9. Defendant's fresh milk. 1/2 pint for $7. Stay neutral as the Swiss do at the end with these for $6. They're awfully overpriced. The lineup is simply awful, period. Speaking of snacks, I wonder if that Swiss roll the little girl dropped is from this machine. I was wondering about that myself. So to the end of these. The end of what? Well, I assume it means the end of the trial. I suppose that means that one should eat these during a recess. You can't eat during a trial, so I suppose the only time you can eat them is now, huh? I wouldn't mind if you wanted to eat one now. They're coming back to 2 after all. Let me go level investigation. Besides, I don't have $6 on me. you want. We can pool our money and buy a pack together. If I had to split it with you, then I don't want it. That is fresh milk. What exactly is that supposed to mean? I bet it's that milk that is freshly milked by various defendants on trial right now. No, I think it might mean that this was milked right here from the various defendants. Yes, Edgeworth. Could possibly be serious. Of course not. He's looking blind your opposition with some OJ. Are they promoting violence? Don't worry, my whip will make sure that anybody following this advice won't be for long. The sting of the whip, the sting of the horseshoes may not be so bad. When you're in hot water, you might need a hot dog. Looks like the slogan was decided through a public contest. And the winner was Prosecutor Winston Payne. What's a pathetic slogan? No present at all. If it was up to me, I would read, if you leave matters in Von Karma's hands, everyone in the court will be found guilty dogs.
Objection!
Overruled. Don't be a jerk at court like these beef jerks.
Objection!
Miles Edgeworth, don't you agree it's a very clever pun? Do you really think they put that much effort into the product name? You're a foolish fool. You're a foolish fool. Could understand the foolish thinking of the fool who made it up. You acted so foolishly that I got thoroughly mad, and now I am utterly famished. Well, in a pack of these, all you have to do is ask me like a normal person. So the prosecution and the defense make a ham sandwich out of you. It sounds like it's directed at the ham of a judge. But it certainly isn't directed at me. I can outmaneuver him any day. I think that's everything on here. Yeah. Looks like ads are about to start as well. Continue the examination here. While you guys are all we're at ad break, I'm gonna think about these things. It should be starting any second, so we'll get that going. Drink a little bit more water. There we go. Ooh, hope everyone's having a good time so far. These games are fun. Let's figure out some of these things. Fucking Cora's back. Ad break is over. Welcome back, everybody. We're back to Warrior Wars. So what I'm gonna do, I think we're gonna do this. I'm gonna sell cactus and a piece of trash. I think this is one. This pink rubbery substance. I saw this in a different form earlier today. I believe this is a piece of a pop balloon. I suppose that's possible. The balloon probably got a little too close to our friend the windowsill cactus. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. So, Swiss roll, chrome, event machine. Cody, man, fuck you, Blades. Kicking me from the Discord and then calling me out. How dare you? It's a piece of chocolate and cake. Could they not have come home with a Swiss cake roll? I mean, you finally did something that Jared did. Jared doesn't want to fucking do, which is really funny to me. A Swiss roll? Why would the courthouse say something like that? Yeah, it seemed like the right venue. However, it is being sold right over there. This vending machine. Ah, I see. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these. 2 for $6. Talk about expensive. The fact that it's on the expensive side, aside, the fact that the cake crumbs and the chocolate bits are found in this hallway. So this is they came from a Swiss roll that was purchased from this vending machine. Got a pretty clear picture of what happened here now. Oh, naturally. Oh, I'm here, aren't I? Detective Gumshoe must have sat on his bench as he ate a Swiss roll. And as he ate, he dropped it on the floor. It sullied the bench. Ugh, how could he have not cleaned up after himself? Utterly despicable. Don't you dare whip me again. It wasn't I who made the mess in the first place. I'll say it, bro. Bring it. I'm ready. Anyway, it's indeed Detective Gumshoe who brought the Swiss roll. It creates a rather interesting contradiction of facts. Contradiction? Fair. I think another look at the special courthouse vending machine is in order. And inside home. Swiss rolls, pog here. Read that contradiction here. Do you think so? There is one. I think there should be one. Do not take on me with that foolish scheme of semantics, Miles. I better look a bit more carefully through the evidence once again. Oh, you can't touch him or you'll explode? Man, fuck you, Blades. Did you guys get your recur? Is that why you're hanging out all year? Jeez, nice. Show Swiss rolls. This is being sold somewhere on the premises. Recall seeing that used to never be sold through Squota. You find junk food like this in a restaurant menu in Francisco. But then, where do they sell these things, huh? A convenience store, I suppose? Yeah, sure, there's no convenience store in this courthouse when I was at Edgewood. Where in the world did this come from? So let's see. Let's see. Eureka! About Detective Gumshoe's finances. He said that until this morning, he didn't have even a single penny in his personage. It's not poor easy guy. His bonus really was only $5, and he should not have been able to purchase a pack of Swiss rolls. However, facts being as they are, we found cake crumbs on the floor. Meaning Scruffy must have bought that pack somehow. Indeed. That detective should have not been able to purchase a pack, and yet he did. The question is, how? Did it. Let's go. I now have a very firm grasp on what happened here. Ah, well, I do too. Alright, Francisca. You gotta share what conclusions you've come to. Why should I do that? We're still in the middle of a competition, you know. We should be checking to see if your conclusions are wrong, so you go ahead. Almost cute that she's going this far to ensure that she wins. Almost. Very well. First, we need to pay his honor a visit to correct his testimony. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to test your witness testimony to see how he stands up.
Do you doubt me? Am I your new suspect?
In a sense, I suppose you could say that. Even you, Judge, are nothing but a common witness before a von Karma.
Silence in the courtroom! Silence, I say! Mr. Prosecutor, recommended by Manfred von Karma, Miles Edward, and Miles, Unius Prosecutor, successor of von Karma, named...
You bit your tongue again, didn't you?
As a defender of the law, I could never give false testimony. You can't even place me under oath if you want.
Very well then. Your testimony, if you please.
During the recess, I went to the restroom. There was a window on the hallway side. In other words, I could see into the hallway. As I entered, I saw the detective buying something from the vending machine. When I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. Detective that goes missing while on duty? That sounds mighty suspicious to me.
Your Honor, can you please try to remain calm?
Oh. I was so used to simply listening to testimonies that I got caught up in the excitement.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to spoil your fun for now.
Went to the restroom.
Hold it! I'm just going to press everything, see if we get anything out of it.
Your Honor,
why exactly did you pay to visit the restroom, if I may ask?
Oh, isn't it obvious? What else do you go to the restroom for? Or maybe, I knew it. You suspect me of some sort of tomfoolery, don't you?
Please stay calm, Your Honor. This is going to be much harder than I anticipated.
I'm sorry. All right. I need to think of things through with a level head. Just nervous because so much has happened today with this trial. I announced a recess at a time for us to reconvene. But having done all that, I still wasn't able to go to the restroom right away.
And why couldn't you?
Mr. Faraday had been accused. I had paperwork to process regarding a new prosecutor. Once I had finished with that, I was finally able to make a mad dash to the bathroom.
At least he stayed consistent to the ongoing to the restroom part of his testimony.
Window in the hallway side. In other words, I could see him through see into the hallway.
Hold it!
Your Honor, did you really go to the men's room? What is the meaning of that statement?
I simply meant that perhaps you went to a restroom on a different floor?
I had to go for such a long time. It was all I could do to dash to the closest one to the call room. I suppose that's only natural given his circumstances. I ran from the courtroom through this floor's main lobby and down the hallway. Once you enter, you can see there's a window just above the urinals. It was through that window that you witnessed Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor? Yes, exactly!
Your Honor, there's no need to yell. I can hear you just fine.
Well, I guess I put a little too much on that last answer. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. I saw the detective buying something from the vending machines.
Hold it!
Are you sure that person witness was Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor? Yes, I'm absolutely sure. It's hard to miss someone of this stature, even from as far away as the restroom. Besides, I can't think of anyone with that kind of hairstyle and big beige coat. Well, I was simply wondering if you were mistaken in what you saw. What? Preposterous. My eyes are as sharp as can be, ready to see through lies and through the truth. Although recently, things do seem to be a bit fuzzier than they used to be. Clearly, his eyes are not the only thing that have gone fuzzy. But allow me to say with all the honor and dignity of a judge, I am not mistaken in what I saw. About to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared.
Hold it!
He disappeared? But Your Honor, did you just say, I saw the detective buying something from the vending machines? Well, yes I did. The restroom window looks over the courtyard and right into the hallway. But just as I was about to exit, I took another look, and there was no one in sight. That led me to the only solution to this mystery. That detective must have gone to the crime scene in lobby number 2 at that point! So I looked into the hallway from the restroom and over the courtyard, did he? A detective that goes missing while on duty? That sounds mighty suspicious to me.
Hold it!
Your Honor, I ask that you please remain calm. No, perfectly calm. I mean, anything but perfectly calm. It appears that his owner may not have been mistaken in what he saw. I suppose so, given his line of sight. However, Francisca, what do you suppose our lines of sight are so different? If they're referring to my height. Can't you hold that whip still for just a second? Now about his honor's testimony. I believe his line of sight to be an important factor. Is that important? Why not hurry up and tell him already? Oh, there's one more thing I need to do if I'm to correct his honor's testimony. We need to retrace Detective Gumshoe's movements. Alright, so I think we go here, where he's gone. Present the handprints.
Objection!
What was that figure wag for, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't you know it's rude to shout objection while someone is giving testimony? Ha! If you truly are a man of the law, then you must be always vigilant. For example, I never let an opportunity to shout objection pass me by. Yes, Edgeworth, it's one thing to be passionate about your job, but this is real life. Some people may say it's the pot calling the kettle black. Your Honor, I wonder if you might take a look at this for me. What is that filth? How dare someone dirty the hallway bench like that? Who is the culprit? This party is hereby found guilty of uncleanliness. You must know, the uncouth bench here has already been placed under arrest, thanks to your earlier testimony, Your Honor. Oh, well that's good, but who was it? Discover something from the smudge on the bench. Namely, Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints. But just committing murder, he had to go and dirty the courthouse too? Guilty! Your Honor, please calm down. While it's true that the detective is the one who made the mess on the bench, we have not yet established this action is related to the double murder. What do you mean? Let's take a drink here. I believe that the detective bought a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine, and then promptly sat down on the bench to eat one. The cake crumbs and pieces of chocolate are on the floor underneath the bench, and Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints prove my conclusions to be true. Oh, but I still don't understand. Is this whole thing related to how I couldn't see him as I was leaving the restroom? It is indeed. The window in the hallway was built rather high up from the wall into the wall, at around a grown adult's chest height. As evidence, I submit that Francisca herself wasn't able to see out of that window. I knew I shouldn't have used her height as evidence. But basically, what this means is that the area directly under the hallway window is a blind spot where the hallway is being viewed from the men's bathroom. Then, it seems that you have made the connection. If someone were to sit on that bench under the window, yes, even someone as large as Detective Gumshoe would effectively disappear from sight. What? Do you finally see, Your Honor? The testimony is proven that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway the entire time. Sorry. I didn't mean to say it with so much enthusiasm. All I'm going to do is try saying it once more. Here, let me try that again. Hold it! There's something of value that you'd like to say? Yes, actually there is. I remember something else just now. Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to testify to the court one more time. Even if we overruled him, he'd just keep talking, wouldn't he? That might not be a bad thing. The more info, the better in a perfect state investigation, right? suppose it's possible you can't see a secret person from the restroom window. However, that doesn't mean that the detective was sitting right there when I looked. Anyway, I forgot to testify earlier about probably the most important detail. As I was leaving the restroom, I heard the loud bang of a gunshot. What was that? That is the testimony of one who judges the crimes of others. Your Honor, could you try to state the important facts first next time? I agree. Before you go on judging others, you should learn to judge your own words. I'm sorry, but honestly, I thought the sound was just a noise popper until now. He mentions it. Right before we restarted the trial, he did talk about that. By the way, there was someone celebrating a birthday during recess. Could have sworn that I heard a pop-out going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson. Most critical point in this argument is when did the judge look into the hallway? Whether that lines up with the gun was actually fired. Your Honor, if I may, I had to clarify a few details in your testimony. Yep, that's correct. We don't need to worry about that one. Don't need to care about that one. Alright, here we go. Hold it! Your Honor, about what you just said. I know, I couldn't believe myself, but I heard it. Bang! Went the gunshot. I jumped in the air like this. Ah, you see, just like this with a quick ah! Your Honor, please remain calm when you're trying to explain yourself to me. Yes, sir. I mean, sorry about that. Now then, I must gather myself, yes. At the gunshot, there was no one in the hall. I should know. I looked. There was no one there. These emotional circuits appear to be struck and overreact. At this point, nothing stands out to me as a contradiction in the system. Francisco. If I'm correct, this testimony is hardly precise quality. I know that. But I said at this point. My first line of attack will be to draw more information from his honor. Hold it! In that case, you can see that you were overconfident in your last testimony. No, hold on here. I just said it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom this time. You know something? I don't think you know when the prints reference were left on that bench, do you? You have proven that it's possible that Detective Gumshoe was sitting. You still have a problem with just when those fingerprints were left. That's right. I did prove when the fingerprints were left on the bench. Well, he feigns ignorance. His honor has seen a lot of life. This judge. I must not underestimate him. That doesn't mean the detective. I want to press on this one. Hold it! As we established, you went to the restroom during the recess. However, at what point in the recess did you look into the hallway? After I called for a recess, I handled the change of prosecutor paperwork. About 20 minutes until we reconvened. Yes, that sounds about right. Exactly. What were you expecting? And I demand to know what that all-knowing smile is for. Your Honor, that statement you made just now is very important. I'd like for you to append it to your testimony. All right, if you insist. Alright, so we have, I think... Objection! You're on. I cannot allow you to make an objection. What? Your Honor, I'm really sorry, but I cannot allow you to not allow me to make an objection. Egads, I've been overruled. Your Honor, there are simply too many holes in your testimony for my taste. What do you mean by that? You claim that you heard the gunshot during the recess, but that is simply not possible. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Manfred von... Ah! Instead of biting your tongue, why do you not name it this? Yeah. I see you have no mercy for the elderly either, Francisca. Don't talk back to me unless you want to be whipped in the back. Dear Height, you need a stepladder or four to accomplish that. Mr. Edgeworth! I guess I'm not that far gone yet. I'll have you know, I can still hear just fine. I heard the sound of a gunshot loud and clear with my own 2 ears. Ha! Your Honor, I have here an interesting bit of testimony. It's from Detective Bad. According to him, he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again. What did you just say? Your Honor, you just said
that you heard the gunshot about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. How do you explain this glaring contradiction?
That could be.
Unfortunately, that is the truth.
But I heard it clear as day. Bang! The loud sound of a gunshot.
The sound of the gunshot. I keep returning to this point of contention. A piece of evidence. I always did wonder why I found it where I did. However, now I understand what the gunshot the judge heard really was. Actually, Your Honor, this is what really produced the gunshot you heard.
The balloon!
Take that! I found this object in the hallway earlier.
What is that pink substance?
It may not look it, but this is actually a piece of a balloon. I see. But I suppose you would like me to accept that pink balloon into the court record? Your Honor, I present this piece of evidence in order to overrule your testimony.
What?
Your Honor, your argument goes as follows. You saw no one in the hallway and you heard the gunshot. Now, there is no guarantee that the detective was sitting on the bench at that time. Therefore, you believe he must have been at the crime scene, defendant lobby number 2. Am I correct?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that the gunshot you heard was produced by a real gun? I think I've said enough that even you can figure out the rest on your own. Your Honor, you were fooled by the popping of this balloon into thinking it was a gunshot.
What manner of trickery is this?
That was the good effort you put forward, Miles Edgeworth. But if it was me, I'd never have this thing up before the judge even testified. Care to elaborate how one ends up saying something before it begins?
Well, to be honest, I did think that the sound was a bit off from a real gunshot sound. But who could have guessed that someone would pop a balloon in a place like this?
That's true. One doesn't usually think balloons in conjunction with a courthouse. I want to trade these coins with you. What's that? A balloon the girl was holding. It explains everything. Your Honor, if it makes you feel any better, you didn't lie once in your testimony. However, I can't really vouch for its accuracy.
Who knew giving testimony could be such a difficult thing to do? What have I done? I owe Detective Gumshoe a very, very big apology. I'll see to it myself that he is released.
Wait. There are still a few things I have yet to resolve about what happened in the hallway. Your Honor, I request your permission to further question Detective Gumshoe.
But why?
We just cleared his name. Whether we did just now or not, I still cannot say. The only thing I can do for now is continue my quest for the perfect explanation. And to that end, I must resolve the remaining issues pertaining to the events that occurred in the hallway.
Very well. Bailiff, please bring Detective Gumshoe into the courtroom.
I must fulfill my mission and find the perfect explanation to this case. Drink a bit more.
What is it now? Is it time for my trial already? I've already told you a gazillion times, pal. I didn't do it.
I'll be the judge of that, Detective Gumshoe. No, you won't. I'll be the judge of that.
No. I'm the judge around here, and I'll be the judge of that. Why can't you guys be a little less judgmental?
Very well, speaking of hasty judgment, Detective Gumshoe, I'm afraid I must apologize for an error in judgment on my part. Your Honor, I don't believe you should apologize just yet. If you have to prove he is completely innocent of this crime.
I guess so. What are you guys talking about?
In any case, I would like you to testify as to your actions while you were on guard duty. Just remember, you are not on trial. This is all just a part of the investigation. As such, you may still be found to be innocent. However, if you should give false testimony...
Now!
My whip will object loud and clear. You are found to be lying, you will be held indefinitely. Understood?
I got you, pal.
We're listed at the crime scene and the judge's testimony. It's obvious that Detective Gumshoe is lying. If I can't break his lie, then we may never get a break in this case.
I came down the hall here to this courtroom on Detective Bad's orders. As soon as I got here, he ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2. From that time on, until I heard the gunshot, I was in the hallway the whole time. On my honor as a detective, I swear it wasn't me, pal.
He's still singing the same old tired tune. In that case, I'll just have to change the melody. I know he's lying, and it's time I pulled the information I need out of him.
Hold it!
So, was it really Detective Bad who called you down here?
You bet it was, pal. I was left in charge of the precinct while everyone was out, and this call comes in. We'll shoot down here in 1 minute flat, he said. Well, I thought it was my big chance, my first case, so I made a mad dash down here. Although I couldn't exactly get here in a minute flat.
So how long did it take you?
About 10 minutes, I guess.
What was Detective Bad doing when you finally made it?
He was waiting for me down on the first floor in the entranceway, pal.
As soon as I got here, you heard me stand guard in front of lobby number 2.
Hold it!
And by he, you mean...
Detective Bad, of course. And this being my first time at this courthouse, he also walked with me up to the 3rd floor hallway in front of the defendant's lobbies.
Did you meet anyone along the way?
Well, just as we entered the hallway, we ran into Miss Yu. When he heard from Miss Yu that Mr. Faraday was not to be interrupted, that's when Detective Bad told me to stand guard in the hallway, pal.
So far, Detective Gumshoe's testimony is matching up with Detective Bad's.
I'm on it till I heard the gunshot. I was in the hallway the whole time.
Hold it! You think to have been in that hallway the whole time. However, is it not a fact you did something while you were in that hallway?
Of course I did something. I guarded the door to lobby number 2, pal. What else?
Very well then. What exactly does guarding that door entail?
Well, put it simply. Oh, I know. It was my job to stand in front of the door without moving an inch.
Oh. Detective Gumshoe, you mean to tell me you didn't take a single step away from the door into lobby number 2? Is that really what you wish to testify to the effect of?
You got it, pal. I didn't take a single step away from that door, just like I was ordered to. Why is everyone so quiet all of a sudden?
Because you're all in shock, and in awe of your utter stupidity.
Scruffy, if you're going to lie, at least tell a more believable one. Ouch. But I'm not lying.
I should hurry up and bring this incepted testimony to a close.
That lobby number 2 door.
Hold it! Oh, I didn't need to press. I'm going to ask you one more time, Detective Gumshoe. Are you sure you stood in front of the lobby number 2 the entire time?
Yep. Even after I was told by Detective Bad, I stood guard in front of the door without a single break. So believe me when I said that I was in the hallway the whole time already, pal. Why did everyone go quiet all of a sudden again?
Apparently, someone has a bit of trouble reading between the lines.
What's that supposed to mean? I don't. Be quiet. Ouch.
Hurry up and bring this testimony to a close. Alright, go back one and present.
Objection!
I have an objection.
What is it, pal?
Detective Gumshoe, what if you might recognize this from somewhere?
Hey, it's one of those things. The courthouse special Swiss rules, right, pal?
Precisely. In that case, I suppose you also recall the sullied hallway bench?
Hey, you know what? I think it was probably me that did that.
Detective Gumshoe,
you know you can't go around dirtying up the courthouse like that.
You inconsiderate, slovenly pig.
Eek. I promise to clean it up later, I swear.
Now then, shall we get down to business? About the fact that you didn't move even a single step from the front of that door. If that really were the case, then how were you able to buy a pack of Swiss rolls? First of all, you didn't move a single step in front of that door. How did you manage to get the bench dirty with your grubby hands?
Ouch!
Razor forensics would do more damage than my word alone can.
Alright, I confess, pal. I was hungry, so I bought a pack for myself, okay? I thought I'd get chewed out again if anyone found out about me eating on the job. So I didn't want to say anything. But unfortunately for you, I saw you do the whole dastardly deed. Clearly saw you buying a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine. Okay, I'm sorry for lying. But that's all I'm sorry for, you got that? Because I'm not holding anything else back.
Last statement. sound like it makes sense. However, there's something I don't quite believe about it. You sure you're not withholding further information from us?
Of course not. I've got nothing else to hide, pal.
Objection!
If only that were the true Detective Gumshoe.
But it is true, pal. I swear there's nothing else.
Detective Gumshoe, I'm sure you're aware of the price of a pack of Swiss rolls, right?
Correct? Remind me again, pal.
The set vending machine out in the hallway is selling packs of 2 Swiss rolls for $6 a pack. And yet, according to you, you didn't have any cash on you until you cashed your $5 annual bonus check. Isn't that right?
Oh.
Let me ask you then, how did you manage to purchase a pack all by yourself? Can you provide me with a proper explanation to that?
I told you, I bought it myself, pal. There wasn't anyone else in that hallway with me. There's no one who could have helped me buy it. Wait, don't tell me. You got some kind of proof that there was someone else in the hallway, don't you?
Correct.
If you could, what are the chances of that? Wait, you do?
Of course I do.
What? How?
There must have been someone else in the hall. The balloon.
Take that!
What the heck is that? You didn't really hear anything. Your prosecutors are all the same, always lying to people. You should stop, you know?
To be lectured by the likes of you, Detective. I had plan on being strung along by this more than a detective.
I had no intention of falling for his lie because there was definitely a second person.
He was truly alone, then that piece of evidence should not exist. It's...
Take that!
Hey, you showed that to me not 2 seconds ago, pal.
I think you were under the mistaken impression that I bought this pack of rolls.
But if you didn't buy it, then that means you must have stolen it, you thief! I would never do such a thing. All you liars are the same. You start out as thieves. You're under arrest, pal.
I believe you meant to assert that all thieves start out as liars. And in that case, what does this say about you, Detective? This particular Swiss roll dropped by a certain someone. Oh, there were 2 rolls in this package. You ate one of them, but you then gave the other one to a certain other person, didn't you?
No way, pal. You got it all wrong. I ate both of them.
It would appear that we've caught you at last.
Hey, don't you do anything bad to that girl.
It would appear that they do know each other after all. So why do you continue to come out to me and kick me? Have I wronged you somehow?
I have a name, and it's Kay.
Kay what?
Kay Faraday.
Faraday. Are you perhaps Mr. Faraday's daughter?
I'm not you, I'm Kay.
Kay? You know, good little girls don't kick other people. Especially not hard enough to leave big nasty bruises like the way you do.
Well, then you shouldn't have put Gummy under arrest, mister.
Gummy? My guess is that she's talking about Detective Gumshoe. That's a cute nickname you've given him.
Gummy didn't do anything wrong.
Okay. Appears that I will need to speak with her in a bit more detail.
Rawr!
Now then, Kay. She's like a stray cat. What if I should feed her something?
Take that!
Okay, I promise to give you this if you're calm down.
Oh, a Swiss roll.
It really belongs to you, doesn't it? Though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was saving it for Daddy.
Oh my. Your father? He's...
Ah, don't you say another word, pal. She doesn't know.
Thanks for watching out for me, Gummy. But I already know about Daddy. I overheard the guards talking.
About Daddy's... He's not here anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't protect him. Kay?
I'm not gonna cry. Dad, gonna... cry.
It's alright. Let it all out. Your father just passed away, after all. I, myself, was also involved in the case at this courthouse when I was a young child. A case in which my father, who was a defense attorney, passed away. All of my dreams of becoming a lawyer were crushed in fine ash at that nightmarish day. Even now, the wound festers deep in the depths of my soul. Ever since that incident, I've dedicated myself to locking away every criminal I can. And now, to have this happen right in front of me? This child, I feel a certain shared fate, a common bond between us. Miles Edgeworth, what sort of gentleman are you? Are you going to just stand there and watch a lady cry? Ah, you're right. Sorry about that. Okay, here, why don't we use this handkerchief here to dry your little eyes? Aw. Ah! My cravat! Don't blow your nose on that! I feel better now. Thanks. Okay. Are you going to be alright? Yep, I'm already alright. Somehow, I highly doubt that. But I'm not going to push it. I promised Daddy I'd never cry in front of strangers. You're a good kid, aren't you, Kay? You always keep your promises, right? That's right. Even if I can't see Daddy anymore, I'm still going to keep all my promises. You're a very brave girl, Kay. You're a very good child for keeping the promises you made to your papa. I'll even testify that you shouldn't cry. Just for you. Thank you very much, lady. Ha, it's nothing. I'm only telling you the truth, Dr. Owl. It would appear that because her father was a respected prosecutor, Franziska is sympathetic to Kate's feelings. Kate, what kind of person was your father? Daddy was a hero of justice. His job was to catch all the bad people in the world. So, to you, a prosecutor is a hero of justice, huh? I suppose we are, in a sense, as we are the ones who seek guilty verdicts for criminals. Plus, you know what? Whenever I came to the courthouse, Daddy would buy me my absolute favorite treat, Swiss rolls. Oh. I want to be a hero of justice someday, just like Daddy. So I've been working really hard. I see. What have you been working hard on? Working hard to keep all the promises Daddy and I made together. A promise notebook. Yeah, take a look inside, Kay. Sure, okay. This will be an exchange diary of sorts between father and daughter. Mr. Faraday's writing conveys a sense of the kind of man he was. So the notebook might just come in handy later. Thank you for showing it to me, Kay. I hope you'll continue to work hard and become a hero of justice just like your father. I'm gonna try. Alright, Kay. So I'm a detective that catches bad people, right? That makes me a hero too. Yeah, you're really cool too, Gummy. Ah, yeah, aren't I, Kay? It's with the two of them. I hunt down verdicts of justice, so that makes me a hero too. Oh, ad break. We wait again, guys. Give another time. Oh man, it's nice to get these breaks when I'm not doing the voices. Makes it easy. What's being Oh Lord. Hope everybody's having a good time. We're getting right back into it. Alright. Welcome back, everybody. Right back to it. I had done verdicts of justice. That makes me a hero too. Since I see your also heroic testimony, you almost painted that detective as a vile criminal and sent him off to jail. I'm really sorry about that. Gummy is not a bad man, okay? Poor judge, he's being treated like a vile criminal rather than a hero of justice. It appears that you and Detective Gumshoe are good friends, Kay. Yeah, we're friends. In that case, would you mind telling me a little more about him? I think you ran into Detective Gumshoe earlier. Yep. I was on my way to see Daddy when I saw Gummy standing there. He was standing in the hallway and glared really hard at the vending machine, so I said hi. And when was this? Before everything got crazy. How long were the two of you together? We only talked for a little while. And then we went on our own ways.
That's right, pal. Kay and I only talked for a little while, and that's it.
Oh, which means we have now confirmed that Kate was in the hallway during the recess, isn't that right?
Ah, you got me.
I told you to stop picking on Gummy, mister. Very well then. I'll just have to speak with the good detective in private later. Were you the one who bought this pack of Swiss rolls, Kay? Well, I didn't really have a lot of money. I somehow made $1 out of all the pennies and quarters I had. But that still wasn't enough, and I really, really wanted one. Come to think of it, she did come and ask me to exchange a handful of change for $1. And that's when you came and asked me to change your money, correct? Yeah, thanks a bunch for doing that, mister. Sure. Well, let me ask you, even with that $1, you still don't have enough, correct? Well, that's why...
Hey, if you bully Kay anymore, I'm gonna have to arrest you, pal.
You don't mind you're the one already under arrest?
Ow!
I suspect Kay is going to be less than forthcoming with this question. Sorry about your roughly thing. Yes, well, now that it's positively drenched in your nasal mucus, don't worry, Kay. I have a spare. So here, you can have this one. But Daddy said never take things from a stranger. Ah, it's one of the promises you made your promise notebook, correct? Yeah, look, see? It's right here on this page. Promise one, never take things from a stranger, never go anywhere with a stranger. Alright then, I'm not giving this to you. I'm merely allowing you to borrow it. You can take it home, wash it nicely, and then give it back to me next time we meet. Okay. Daddy's never said I couldn't borrow things from strangers. Now then, Detective Gumshoe. Uh-oh. I believe it's now crystal clear. You were with little Kay in the hallway. Oh. I told you to stop being mean to Gummy. Mayo's edge was still something you have yet to resolve. I beg your pardon? You still haven't offered me an explanation for why that man would lie to us. That's, well, Gummy, don't tell me you lied for my sake.
Hey, don't worry about it, Kay. Everything's gonna be okay.
Ah, so that's why. So, what was Detective Gumshoe's motive for lying? You can't explain that. You can't call this a perfect investigation. Your lying is very simple. What? Is what I believe to be his reason. A simple observation of the detective's actions in his interactions with Kay. The detective was lying for the young girl's sake. And this piece of evidence will show you exactly why. The balloon.
Take that!
This is the piece of evidence. What are you showing me that for? It doesn't seem to add anything to the conversation.
I don't get what you're trying to say with that. Or do you like showing it off?
Are you gonna give that to me, mister?
It feels like court needs to enter that into the court record at this time. What's wrong with everyone? Are they all teasing me all of a sudden?
It's possible that perhaps I made a mistake and that's why. Now, back to the topic at hand. Which we lied for Kay's sake, and I hope the evidence shows the reason why. Oh, thank you, Francisca, for following. Let's see. It's either the Swiss cake or the money. Let's try the money and let's see if that works.
Take that!
Nope, that was not it. One of the... I know it's one of these two. Those are the only real reasons you would have any reason.
Take that!
Nope, I guess I was wrong on both of them. Fine. Alright, 3 things, right? Guess I'm not getting charged points for this, I suppose. Let's see. Let's... let's see.
Take that!
No, that's not it. We're just gonna keep trying. Eventually, I'm gonna get the right one. I'm not getting charged points for this, so I suppose it's fine.
Take that!
Oh, I've done everything on that page, so I just had to move to the previous page. I guess when I didn't do the diary, did I? Oh, was it the promise? Because it was promised not to.
Take that!
Better in case promised notebook? How does this explain anything? Take a look at this page. It's clearly written that Kay should never take things from a stranger. When Detective Gumshoe heard about that promise, he tried to cover for Kay. What a foolishly foolish fools! Fool of a foolish reason for a fool! Ow! Tell me, you lied because of me, didn't you? Because I'm your friend, Kay. That's why. Tell me. At long last, Detective Gumshoe, can you please tell me the whole truth now? Guess there's no beating you, huh, pal? Okay, I'll spill the goods. I'd been a standing guard for a while. I was getting really hungry, and the snack vending machine was taunting me. All the cash I had on you was $5. But all the cash you had on you was $5, and that wasn't enough to buy anything, right? After all, the cheapest item in that machine is a $6 pack of Swiss rolls. Yeah, but then, like an angel from heaven, Kay showed up. I was thinking about sharing a snack with Daddy. So I wanted to buy a Swiss roll. But I only had about $1 in coins. We pulled my $5 and her $1 together. And bought a pack of Swiss rolls together. But I was worried about breaking one of my promises. So then Gummy said, "This Faraday's not one scary guy when he gets mad. But don't worry, you won't get in trouble if I don't tell, right? Besides, you brought it with me. So you didn't really get it from me, you know? He told me it'd be okay. And he gave me a whole roll to save and give to Daddy. Who knew that Scrappy could be so considerate? Indeed. Detective, I take it that you sat down on the bench and ate the rolls together? Yeah, we split the other roll and ate it right then. The sweet taste of that cake is chocolate. I'll never forget it as long as I live, pal. Anyway. Kay, I believe this also belongs to you? Oh, that's from the balloon I popped. It's bad manners to leave garbage lying around, Kay. I'm sorry. Well, I guess I can't blame you for not throwing this one piece away. It was sitting up high on a windowsill where you couldn't see it. So just this once, I forgive you. That balloon, I wanted to surprise Gummy a little, so I popped it on purpose. Because of me, Gummy dropped his half of the Swiss roll. Wow, you really got me there, pal. So I thought maybe I should give Gummy this other roll. And then I saw you picking on Gummy, mister. So you kicked me, is that it? Just a feisty one. I'm really sorry, mister. It's alright. I'm perfectly unharmed. What about the Swiss roll? Would it be alright with you if I held on to it until Detective Gumshoe is cleared of all charges and is free to go? Yeah, sure. Just make sure you give it to Gummy afterwards, okay? Of course, I promise. Now then, I believe we have proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway for the entire duration of his duty, which undeniably proves that Detective Gumshoe could not have committed the double murders.
Objection!
Actually, it proves just the opposite, Edgeworth. You've just shown that Detective Gumshoe is the only one who could have committed the crime. What do you mean? He's quite rude to eavesdrop, Miss You. I get it, you like shirt on manners. By a girl with a penchant for ripping people. What? How dare you talk back with such insolence? You're wrong, lady. Gummy's not a bad guy. Oh, and what do we have here? What is a child doing here in a courthouse? Bailiff, please take this child away. What? It's Callisto you. That girl is Mr. Faraday's. I know. So what? Isn't that just because she's the victim's daughter, she gets to just run all wild around the crime scene? I think it's actually quite dangerous for her, to speak nothing of getting on her underfoot. I suppose you're right. However, as long as we're in agreement on that point, let's get back to the real issue at hand. Now then, Detective, you were in front of the door to lobby number 2 the entire time, correct? Yeah, but you see, isn't it obvious that it could only be the detective? He's the only person who could have gotten into the lobby number 2 at the time of the murders. I have no argument to that. Don't worry, I've already put in the necessary paperwork for his formal arrest. But the investigation is far from over. Oh, that's right. I was going to speak with you about that. Don't you think it's reckless to talk the suspect out in the open without a guard? I suppose it is. Well, as someone with more experience in law than you, I'm going to share something. Always keep a good eye on a criminal, or you may regret what comes of your negligence. Oh, Miles, I can't believe you're letting this woman lecture you like this. This is unforgivable as a disciple of Von Kama. Down, Tigress. Now then, I'll be looking forward to the results of your investigation. So, we're back to square one. Actually, this is our last chance. I can tell that if we fail to solve this case, Detective Gumshoe will be formally charged under all of the circumstantial evidence. This investigation is not over yet. There's still one location we have yet to inspect. It's where Detective Bad and Miss Yu were at the time of the crime. Lobby number 1. What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? It smells like flowers. Uncle Bad, is this it? Is that Detective Bad and Kay over there? It looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. No, it's not quite it. Well, not too bad, but it's so pretty. I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. But since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it. Thanks, I'll treasure it always. Let's just seem to get along rather well. Oh, here, I've got something else for you. Yay, thank you, Uncle Bad. Earlier, I ate one of these with Gummy. Gummy? Oh, you mean Gumshoe. Gummy is... He was trying to be nice to me because I was going to get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy... I know he didn't kill Daddy. Don't cry. Faraday would be sad if he saw you crying. I'm not crying. Okay. Oh, it's the mister from before and the lady too. Don't you think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being? You're not involved with the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant, so I'm related to the investigation. Is that so, Detective Bad? Yeah, I guess. What? You were just scolding us like kids not to mess up the crime scene. And now you let this child run free. Why? People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. Got a problem with that? I don't have a problem with that, but I'm curious as to what Miss Yu is looking into. Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go look somewhere else now, okay?
Alright, I'm counting on you.
Oh, that's right. Hey, mister? Yes, what is it? I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean it. So, please, find the real bad guy, okay? I won't forgive whoever did this, but in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there's no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering. Detective Bat, what exactly was Kay searching for?
Nothing that concerns you, boy.
Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay?
It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste.
I don't think he'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again.
I don't have anything to say to you.
Be as that as it may, we still have questions that need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is this overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Upon entering this room, I thought it was going to suffocate.
It's the ultra-strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window. Well, that smell's still here.
Perfume, huh? That sweet scent in the air is perfume. Well, it's just giving off quite the stench. I bet it's some cheap, no-name brand.
She said it's a famous brand from overseas.
It's a knockoff. It's definitely a knockoff.
No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it.
I was born for a much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Miles Edgeworth, you will hold on to this bottle without fail.
Why can't she ever be honest about her once?
Banned by you. Some perfume is, same perfume as the one spilled in lobby number 1. With the perfume Miss Yu wears. Just fantastic.
Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigating.
Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. So, you were in this room the entire recess?
Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here.
At least our story is consistent. Earlier you stated that you were in this lobby with Miss Yu.
Yep, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here.
Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in the 2 different locations?
Guess I am.
Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you. Oof. So Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KG8 incident. And as I recall, Detective Bad was lead detective on that case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece. Because you were the lead detective on that case.
You knew?
I also know about that today's trial involving the Cambodian embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG8 incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday and the KG8 incident.
If you already know that much, I guess it'd be alright to tell you.
Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG8 incident.
It's not exactly a happy story, other than the people who were directly involved. You two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. The honest truth behind the KG8 incident. Faraday, you and I. As you already know, we 3 were involved with the KG8 incident. Faraday and I, we were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring.
You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group's secretaries?
That trial was just a front.
A facade, then?
Yeah, but the case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed.
Then what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin DeVore. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring. But he confessed to knowing about it anyway. DeVore was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat. Boss man of the Amano group. You can't seriously mean Mr. Ernest Amano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. What's he trying to do? Suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved with the smuggling? I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Hoshen, was a completely different person. But since he had already been acquitted once of her murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go? If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him. It wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, CC, I was supposed to protect them both. You did mention that as well. How Detective Bat was supposed to guard her sister. But even I was supposed to protect them. I fell into their trap. What kind of trap? The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap. You mean you were fired upon? You were shot at that many times in one gunfight? No. Only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KG-8 incident. I see. I couldn't protect CCU. The suspect was found not guilty. We had hit a brick wall as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came to the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu. But when you first met Miss Yu, it was on that day of the verdict that the KG-8 incident was handed down, was it not? Yes. Faraday and we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do, but just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Well, she certainly has a lot of self-control to stop at just this slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. I suppose not. You said it was her. You said it herself. That she never wanted to see either of us ever again. And after that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Yeah. Faraday and I, even after the KG-8 incident had come to a close, we continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. We cracked so many different cases. But the result was always the same. Couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. Is the ring really that big? I was in the pursuit of the ring. That we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. The client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them. Yeah, you was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer. She defended Rel this time, for the same reason. Think of it, Miss Yu did say something to that same effect. I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for the leads regarding the KG-8 incident, alright? For that, you've not a single call about defending a known killer? Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rao was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him. Ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. It does not matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable. You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. I'll tell you what's not the daughter of a von Kama. It was like us. You felt that you hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all.
The law is merely a tool. There's no limit to it. Only the skill of the craftsman. You two are still too young. But one day, you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all. So, what's your relation to Mr. Faraday? You don't seem to know Kay fairly well. I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and I, we cracked quite a few cases together. But you two seem to have made no progress at all in the Alagarasu case. Seems to be touch enough. I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Alagarasu than me and Faraday. And that's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial. To prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarasu, which I would have done if he had turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify but this time, to prove or disprove the accusation. But I guess I won't be doing that either. Except that there's more to this statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Yatagarasu is what's necessary. You claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share that you know with me? More to you two, what you two should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rel. I agree. This is exactly why I'm asking you about the Yatagarasu. What? The KG-8 incident and the second KG-8 incident. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. And in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ, and that is the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagarasu. Mr. Rel claimed to be the Yatagarasu. However, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarasu. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Did you find that to be the least bit odd? Yes, Ariel's edge was something around the bush and just spit it out already. I believe there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time. Or reason. Huh. And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday's and Mr. Rel's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn just as much as I can about the Yatagarasu. It will help you to solve this case. Then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yatagarasu. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. Ah! Still accidentally whipped me anyway. There are three main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever. I see. Those are the Yatagarasu's special traits. Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. The Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. And that's how I knew that Rel wasn't the real Yatagarasu right away. But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Cadopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about. In that case, how can you be so sure it was the Yatagarasu who sent it? It's easy. A special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure. Just what sort of card is it? Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information.
But when we questioned Rail about what was sent along with the white card, Rail had no idea what it was. Ah, that's the detective bad news that Rail was a phony. Thank you very much. I have much better understanding of the Yatagarasu now. Humph. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you? Found in the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive. I'm a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself. And to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. His Honor is still a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. Now I have a greater appreciation of just how hard it is to give testimony. There's a small reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict. Franziska, there's no need to further depress His Honor, but I'm not trying to admire this. Your Honor. Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your Honor? The evidence. Your Honor! Oh! Yes, can I help you? I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor, do you think you could stay focused long enough to at least do your job? Yes, I'm sorry. And I would, except the defense attorney has yet to arrive. She is busy with the investigation. So let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell are also included. So please go ahead and use them in your investigation into the case. Understood, Your Honor. The pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding their case. And maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth. I still have the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you. I see. Thank you very much. I will go and confirm that they are all accounted for. This is the evidence related to today's Cadopian Embassy trial for Mr. Faraday's bag. You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in Lobby 2, right? Yes. Finally, now we can take a look at the evidence itself, and not just data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them when we have the time. Agreed. I want to take a good look at all this evidence from the Embassy Murder 2. Why is that? Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about. Don't put your crop at me just because you don't know something. And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today. I see someone still sore about not being picked by Mr. Vod Karma. It's also real to see the knife up close. The knife, a gun, an envelope, and what's this organizer doing here? Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor? They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside that evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it be passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation. Detective Bad said that. What a strange stroke of luck. We'll never look a gift horse in the mouth. May as well flip through it too. Faraday's organizer. It appears he was in the habit of using it. It looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Duck convicted down in here. I have collected the evidence I need to prove that Rail was the killer. Between the handgun, Rail had on him, he was arrested, and the surveillance tape, I should be able to prove he was the one. Does Mr. Faraday honestly believe that Mr. Rail was the killer in the case? The handgun going off was recorded with superb clarity on the surveillance video. I also have evidence that I can use to prove that Rail is not the real Yatagarasu. It would also appear that he had proof that Mr. Rail was not the Yatagarasu. How may I try to play it? As long as I have the Yatagarasu's key, I can prove he's a phony. If I present it to him in court, it should clear everything up. And apparently it had a very definitive piece of evidence. Long battle, I hope this will finally be brought to an end. Yes, I believe Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rail may have made about being the real Tokenizer is a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take it. I'll have to take my time and give it thorough read later. Look, there's a picture stuck between the pages here. It appears to be a key. It's a rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design on the handle. Craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yatagarasu key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer? Yatagarasu's key. Detective Bad said something earlier. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Candopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu had the evidence. Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few of others knew about. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep the secret he saved, and the prosecutor on both the Yatagarasu and smuggling ring cases. That's to be expected. Look through these documents before the trial started. I wasn't even afforded the opportunities to skim it. I suppose I should explain it to you then. Yes, you should. Perfectly in its entirety, if you please. On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Macrell was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned. Because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot. A simpleton of a man. That's what he was. Perhaps that he was. For the weapon, it wasn't the only incriminating evidence he had. Mr. Rowe was caught in the act on film by a security camera. He wasn't even big a simpleton than I thought. He can't believe he didn't even notice a security camera. Looks like ads are about to start. So we'll let those go here in just a moment. Starting here any moment. There we go. I hope everyone's having a great time tonight. I know these games aren't exactly most action, but they're fun. They're fun to watch, and it's always good to get the story out. I hope my shitty voice acting isn't put off for anybody. I am merely doing the best I can. About to get back into it. Alright, welcome back, everybody. Getting right back into it. The Cadobian Embassy's security system was supposedly very well designed. You may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in that area. So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself? Yes, the surveillance and security video the security camera took was played during the trial of Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Rell on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear. So the footage included sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life. Me neither. This gun. It was originally used to kill the Cadobian Embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. Rell still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest. And then, this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic. Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. The knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Who would have thought such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act? And it never crossed your mind that you used a riding crop for the wrong purpose? That's odd. What is it? Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer. That is certainly odd. The weapon that was used to kill the Cadobian Embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from? Yes, it was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Rell. It's the only logical conclusion, right? No, because it was not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside. In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse? I have to think carefully here. There is nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Firstly, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve this mystery, I believe we will need to take another good look at the evidence. Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have to answer me to mean that you don't have any answer for me? Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca. What? So what is it? One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse. It was the key.
Take that!
This Yadagarasu key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer. This is how the key knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. You just need to look a bit closer, Francisca. You can see what I mean. Does the color and ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything? They do remind me of that knife. Very good. Both the Yadagarasu's key and this photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yadagarasu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife. You don't really see me to say. It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are, in fact, one and the same. But that is impossible! Even if what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Now then, let's examine this knife in a little more detail. I can't believe it turns into a key. I think there was such a trick in this thing. So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the Yadagarasu's sword. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up till now. Frankly, I'm shocked. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea that it was the key was hiding a knife blade inside. But if that's true, only someone who knew about the key to knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday. Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday. Meaning that the only person it could possibly be is the one who sent the key in the first place. The great thief Yadagarasu. Then maybe Mr. Rail really was the Atakarasu. And he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? No, not really. Especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rao was not the Atakarasu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier. But when we questioned Rail about what was sent along with the white card, Rail had no idea what it was. I see. Alright then. I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is Surreal the Atakarasu. Seems that this key is truly the key to solving the case. That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. And that piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court. See, surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? You're showing the moment in which Mr. Rowe committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed?
Are you done with your inspection of the evidence?
Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I am missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties?
What? No, I dare not look at my duties. What do you take me for?
Oh, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial, the surveillance video, is not among the evidence you laid out for me.
But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene?
There's something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I will have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime, defendant lobby number 2. It's Detective Bad, but who is he with? I've never seen that officer before.
So, did you find it?
No, not yet, and I've looked everywhere.
I see. Well then, please continue with the search.
Understood. I'll continue the search.
So you're the one running this show?
Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes.
How dare you?
Just who do you think you are? What was that all about? Who was that man just now? Whoever he was, I have never seen a more impudent officer in my life. Does he even know we're standing right here behind him?
I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids?
It looks like you are paying attention after all.
Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head.
If the mirror wasn't for Venice's sake, it's really keep an eye out for who or what is behind him at all times. So tell me, Detective Pat, who was that rude man just now?
The guy came here from the Republic of Zangfall to study. He's Agent Lane. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world, studying different philosophies of detainment from scratch.
By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication.
He's just a rookie cop. I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude.
It's just that the guys to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time.
I agree. However, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to.
Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad? Yes, that little guy was poking around in lobby number 1 as well.
Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you.
I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Fine, if this is the game I must play, then I will take this opportunity. Draw out what he's been hiding and what happened in this room straight from him. Earlier, you were in lobby number 1 and now you're here in lobby number 2. You're quite the busy man, Detective Bad.
Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say.
I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked about what happened once again, correct?
I don't have anything left to say to you, boy.
Boy, you see, I will draw my answers from you one way or another. Would you kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation? I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think? Ah. Please, we're asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. I'd like to ask once again about what happened around here at the time of the crime. I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about? Things you don't know about? Aren't you supposed to know everything? You should. Wait, is it possible? He doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence. Why don't you try showing it to him? It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bat. Detective Bat, did you know of this existence of the item in this photograph? Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yagarasu case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same? What? That's impossible. It looks like he didn't know at all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarasu's key to prove that Mr. Rell was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. Where Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was, in fact, a knife. Yeah, I have to admit, neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this? I noticed that since a little while ago you've been searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for? Yeah, that's right. And why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life? Detective Bat. So that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more. Alright. But it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. Too bad. I ask you to please testify once more. About what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1. My answer is still the same. And this is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up and find the truth behind this case. I was in lobby number 1 talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. We heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we all ran to lobby number 2. It sounds like the exact same story he told us before. Indeed, however, I feel we have yet to draw out all the information that we can.
Hold it!
Why didn't Miss Yu choose lobby number 1? Answer me. Who knows? She just said that she had something she wanted to talk to me about. And we walked into lobby number 1 together. That's all. So his answer remains the same as before. I see. What about some trivial things?
Hold it!
I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you and Miss Yu were talking about. Trivial stuff. It was nothing important. That's for me to decide. I suppose that's him to decide. Beyond that. The gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene.
Hold it!
Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot. Detective Bat was really the one from the murder. That would give the other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. Please amend your testimony with that statement just now. Sure. Any other strange sounds? The balloon!
Objection!
Detective Bat, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kai was holding.
Oh, so you knew about that little girl's balloon.
Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her.
Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon.
So, it was about the balloon.
What if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point?
What are you getting at?
This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot.
Oh? So the sound of that judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh?
On top of that, his Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to convene. Yes, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. And if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well.
So?
Don't give me a so. We just put there as a flaw in your testimony.
The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking.
And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Do you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? Because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. What is that supposed to mean?
The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. On top, to top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material.
Then you mean,
since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound.
No.
I knew that's what he was going to say.
Then that means the Scarface's testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any signs of a struggle.
It's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now, do you get it, kids?
Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic. Let's the other way around.
The other way around?
It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if we're in lobby number 1. We examine the situation in reverse. The person standing in front of the hallway, should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. And Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bat, that is the case. How exactly did you hear the gunshot?
What do you mean? How? I just did.
It would appear you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words.
Oh, how so?
The rooms are as soundproof as you say they are. Then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears?
I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I thought.
Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to? It boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how Detective Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot that they theoretically couldn't have. It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh?
Instead of the crime scene.
Wait, can it be?
That ultra-strong perfume you wear, she spilled some of it. Way too noisy.
This is a very nice video. Got a piece of evidence just disappear. Where did it go?
It's simply not possible for the killer to escape through the barred windows. And yet the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from the defendant's lobby 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through these open, barred windows. Now then, what else besides the smoke can go out of the open, barred window? The answer is sound. So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the chick would be up. And since the windows in both defendant lobby 1 and down the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of the gunshot could be heard in both locations. The missing piece of evidence is the video.
It shows the moment in which Mr. Rao killed the embassy staff members. Somehow the gunshot put an impression on me when it played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess. And brought it back here. It disappeared at that time, and it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place. Miles, what have you been thinking about? Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again. It's not a waste of time to think, for I have figured out where we should look. In fact, what's that be? I believe we should examine the television. The TV? Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like. Inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. The video player, and there seems to be a videotape inside. It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end. This tape, could it not be the missing surveillance tape? I suppose, but... Detective Bad, would it be alright with you if I verified the contents of this video? Sure. Knock yourselves out. Alright, then let's rewind this and see what we have. If I remember correctly, the footage of Rail killing a messy staff member should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape. Understood. This should be about right there. Now then, let's see. This is the footage of Mr. Rail shooting the embassy staff member. I knew it. The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video, was here all along. Like a sound. What's the meaning of this? It appears that Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind the double murder. Do you mean you figured it all out, son? Yes. All I have to do now is show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. Fine. In that case, show me what you've deduced. What the gunshot Detective Bad heard was, and through where they heard it from.
Eureka!
These evidence will clear the last remaining contradiction in this case. Miles, I believe this piece may actually be proof of a different last of sorts. So today will be your last day as a prosecutor. I made a mistake. I don't know if the last riddle and its answers lie somewhere within this room. Calm down and think through once more. This video plays the whole time, huh? I suppose so. But other than that, the killing, there's hardly any sound. So why did the television make that loud noise when Scruffy got near it? Must the tape have run out and stopped its playback? It's not just bad luck that Detective has the worst timing in the world, too. So I purposely let this video on play. The question is why? So with the smoke room in lobby number 1, the windows were open, that piece of evidence, sound, would also dissipate out. I show what the gunshot detective heard was, and through where they heard it from.
Eureka!
Door and windows to the crime scene, namely this room were closed. The killer could have used the gun, and no one would have been wiser. That's true. This courthouse does to be well designed for such a thing, as it were. However, what happened in reality was Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot. Well, the windows in lobby number 1, number 2, and the hallway were open. So naturally, the people in those locations could hear it. Oh, then why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this. But why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Very well. I believe the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. The killer wanted to manipulate our perception of when the crime took place. They wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes, and used the gunshot and surveillance video to do so. So that's why the tape was left running. You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. Must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who has no alibi for that time period and planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, what is it? Miss Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She said that she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something. Looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her that I will be right over. I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say. It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. Bam! And there we go, everybody. That's where we're going to end it off tonight. We'll continue this on Sunday. I am off tomorrow and Saturday, so I will be back on Sunday with some more Ace Attorney. So for now, thank you guys for joining me. Let's see who's online, and I'll send you guys off. I'm going to say Core is probably ending soon, so I'm going to send you guys over to Cinder.
Water and water and water, water, water and water and water, water, water and water and water, water, water and water and water, water.
Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Later.